Hey guys, Dark91 here. I'm making this video on Saturday. I think today is the 19th. No, today's the 20th. So I'm making this video on August 20th, Saturday at 3:50 or now 3:16. And the reason why I am making this video is because I just went through a whole nostalgic moment remembering the Rugrats and the movies and the episodes and the shows because a few hours ago, um, I was told that the voice actor of Stu Pickles had passed away, and my video is up on YouTube already. I posted it, I believe, around 20 minutes ago, and that's up. It's a video just remembering the Rugrats, remembering the movies, remembering Stu Pickles, giving my condolences to the family, to the Rugrats community, and even the 90's baby community. Because, as I said in that video, my inner childhood had died. I broke down, I started crying. I know Stu Pickles isn't a real character, but the person who played him was a real character. And to see the person who played one of my favorite father figures in any cartoon, period, had passed away, that was pretty big to me. And that gave me the idea of to make a small video. I'm not going to say short because I always say short and the videos always come out 20 to 30 minutes long. So I'm just going to make a video here just talking about my favorite cartoons when I was growing up in the 90's. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you will have nostalgic moments. I know my video will probably get around 10 to 12 views, maybe 15. But it's something to get my mind off of Stu Pickles or Jack Riley passing away. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, I just went through a whole nostalgic moment of remembering so much about the Rugrats. And I'm going to start off with the Rugrats here. Um, as I said in my video about Jack Riley, I would come home from school or pretend to be sick because I wanted to stay home all day, and I'd watch the Rugrats all the time. It was a daily routine. I'd have my tomato soup with grilled cheese. I'd have my chocolate pudding. I'd have my cereal. I have whatever I was eating at the time, and I'd have the Rugrats on, and I'd watch it every day. I never missed an episode. I never did because I loved the Rugrats that much. And even as I said in the video as well, watching Rugrats all grown up, and I judged the show too quickly. I did that with one of the Transformers movie because Megan Fox wasn't in it or whatever it was, and the movie came out great. And it was the same thing with the Rugrats show, all grown up. It was a decent show. I loved it, seeing all of them growing up. Even Dill, Dill was one of my favorites, and in one of the movies where Tommy and Dill fall down a hill while it was raining in a forest type area, they find this tree that had a hole at the bottom so the rabbits could live there. And Tommy had to fight off the rabbits because they needed somewhere to hide while it was raining because he didn't want Dill to get sick. And in that episode, or in that movie scene, excuse me, we see Tommy with Dill finally dried off, or starting to dry off, and we see that Dill is crying. And the reason why Dill was crying was because he was hungry, as all babies do. They cry when they're hungry. They cry when they want to be picked up. They cry when they piss in their shit and they shit themselves. So Tommy said, "Okay, here, take your bottle. See if you want that." Dill didn't want that. He drank a little bit of it, but while Tommy was looking in the back to give him something to eat, Dill threw it at him and hit him in the back of the head. And I thought that was funny. But like I said, Dill was hungry and he wanted something else. So the only thing that was left in the bag was the baby food of bananas, or as Tommy called them, was nanners. And Tommy had to fight off a monkey because the monkey smelled the bananas, and it was circus monkeys. I remember that correctly, even though that was like 10 plus years ago, or longer than, it was like about 15 years ago almost. But he had to fight off a whole bunch of monkeys because that was Dill's food. He wanted Dill to stop crying because he was hungry. So he finally fought off the monkeys or whatever. They left and whatever. And then Tommy is trying to feed Dill, but he's fighting and he's fighting and he's fighting. And Tommy's crying because he doesn't know where his mom and dad is. He doesn't know where Chucky is. He doesn't know where Phil and Lil is. And I remember this scene correctly, word for word. Come on, Dill. You have to eat your nanners. Eat your nanners, Dill. And till this day, I'm about to turn 25 in a week. And even till this day, when I'm feeding a baby food, whether it's peas, peaches, um, carrots, whatever the baby food is, I don't care what it is, I always say, come on, you have to eat your nanners, eat your nanners. And that left a big impression on me because Tommy was the oldest, and I'm the oldest of two brothers. So whatever I saw Tommy do, I took it upon myself and said, well, you know what? Since I'm the oldest brother, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do. And this is me at a very, very young age thinking like that. But I love the Rugrats. So the Rugrats was the best family oriented children's show that was on Nickelodeon. And I'm talking about the old, good Nickelodeon. I'm not talking about Nickelodeon now, or even the shows on Cartoon Network. Because Cartoon Network now, or even Toonami and Nickelodeon, they're all trash. I don't like none of the cartoons that have come up on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Nicktoons or whatever. But again, that's what I remember from the Rugrats. Now, the second picture we have here is Batman the Animated Series, and I will tell you this now. I am the biggest Batman fan known to man on the face of the earth. I fucking love Batman. Excuse my French. But I love Batman. Batman is my shit. I've seen all the Batman cartoons. I may not like some of them, but I've seen them. I've played a lot of the Batman video games. I have seen a lot of the Batman movies. I'm not going to see Batman v Superman because Ben Affleck sucks as Batman. But I even had a conversation on the train with somebody because they saw me wear a Batman shirt and they asked me if I saw the movie. I told them I'm not seen it since Ben Affleck is Batman. I mean, he sucked at Daredevil and he even sucked at the Green Lantern and he sucked at oh no, Ryan Reynolds played as the Green Lantern. Excuse me, forget that. But he played as Daredevil and Batman in both movies. He sucked. I didn't like I didn't like either one. But yeah, Batman Forever. You had Batman the Animated Series. You had Batman Forever. You had the Batman. You had a whole bunch of Batman shows, and um, Batman the Animated Series again is my favorite cartoon from the Batman series, and I even the movies. I have the Phantom Menace, and I have Sub Zero, both on VHS. And every once in a while, when I get in that mood, I'll watch the movies because Batman the anime. Kevin Conroy, I swear, Kevin Conroy is the best voice actor on the face of this earth. He even came back to do the with Mark Hamill. He came back with Mark Hamill to do Batman the Killing Joke. He's magnificent. I love Kevin Conroy. It's either Kevin Conroy and I forgot his name, but the voice actor who does Optimus Prime. Them two alone are my favorite voice actors. Just them portraying my favorite two cartoon slash video game characters, movie characters, whatever you want to say. But Kevin Conroy is the Batman voice I have stuck in my head forever, even till this day. I read the comics, I hear Kevin Conroy's voice. I even with the Joker, I hear Mark Hamill's voice because for cartoons, Mark Hamill has the best Joker voice. Kevin Conroy has the best Batman voice. But in movie wise, Heath Ledger has the best excuse me, not Batman, but Joker um, scenes in the Batman movie sets. But I even remember watching Batman shoot, what was the name? Batman Forever, where you had George Clooney play let's see if I remember. George Clooney played Batman. Arnold Schwarzenegger played Sub Zero. You had not Jack Nicholson. Shit, I forgot his name. But you had someone play Two Face. I forgot his name. You had Jim Carrey play the Riddler, and he's the best Riddler because Jim Carrey has this persona about him where he jokes about everything. And I mean, you go look at him play in the movie The Mask. He's the best candidate for the movie The Mask because of his persona. And even when he was in the movie God Almighty or something like that, I forgot the name, but where Morgan Freeman played God, or was I believe that might have been the first movie. I don't remember. It was one of those. But Kevin Conroy, Batman the Animated Series, best Batman cartoon known to man, and my favorite, and he's the reason why I love Batman so much. So the next cartoon I want to talk about is Pokemon, of course, and Pokemon has come back with a not, I don't want to say vengeance, but it's come back strong with the phone game Pokemon Go. But Pokemon aired in 96, I want to say. I know that a video game came out in 97, but Pokemon aired in 96, I believe. And my first video game ever was Pokemon Yellow. I still have the original Pokemon Yellow. I don't have the yellow Game Boy Color with Pikachu on it, but I do have Pokemon Yellow. I have Pokemon Red. I have Pokemon Blue. I want to buy Pokemon Green, even though it's only sold in Japan, and I want to get that as well. But I still have the original Game Boy Brick and Pokemon Yellow. That was my first video game that I received, and I received it for Christmas. I remember exactly, and I got two of them if I remember, because I got Pokemon Yellow and I got Pokemon Red, because my Game Boy Color I also got for Christmas was the red one. So as soon as I got that game, I played it nonstop. I put so many hours into that game, and it still works to this day. It's 2016, almost 20 years later. exactly 20, or no, because Pokemon hit 20 years old in February. Um, but man, I remember that first episode where Ash is so pumped. It's like, yes, I'm 10 years old. I can become a Pokemon trainer. He wakes up late and he goes to Professor Oak's lab. All the starter Pokemon were given out already. You had his grandson there with all the cheerleaders being all cocky and shit. And just even remembering 20 years ago, Ash received Pikachu as his first Pokemon. He's not even a starting Pokemon. It was the only Pokemon he had left. And even Ash begged him. It's like, oh please, you have to have a Pokemon left. It's like, all right, fine, I do. It's not a starting Pokemon, but it's a Pokemon that I have left. And Pikachu didn't want to be in the Pokeball. He always wanted to be out, and that's why in Pokemon Yellow we see Pikachu following you because Pikachu never wanted to be in the Pokeball. And even if you had Charmander in the front, you had Bulbasaur in the front, you had Squirtle in the front, Pikachu forever followed you everywhere. And that's the idea that the Pokemon creators got for Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. But the only difference was that whatever Pokemon you had first followed you. So if you had Ho-Oh in the front, Ho-Oh would follow you. You had Pikachu, you had Typhlosion, you had Feraligatr, you had Meganium. Any type of Pokemon will follow you, unless it's too big, of course. But yeah, that first episode, that's what started it all. It's like, yes, I'm 10. I'm gonna go on a Pokemon adventure. I'm gonna catch all 151 Pokemon. I'm gonna be all 8 gyms. I'm gonna move on to the next region, and that's what's hooked us ever since day one. Every episode, for the kids who what started watching Pokemon in the 90's, it's not repetitive that every season that comes out it's the same thing. He reaches another region. He encounters Team Rocket. He does this. He does that, and it's probably going to be the same thing for the Alolan region. When Pokemon X, Y, and Z is finished, they're gonna go straight to the Alolan region and do whatever they do. And I can't wait for Pokemon Sun and Moon. It comes out November 18th this year. I'm so buying both of them. Just to jump off the trail a little bit. But yeah, Pokemon. Shit. My first game, Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Red. I've been watching the show since day one. And that's incredible. If I miss them, of course, I go online or I go on demand and I watch them. But I've been watching Pokemon since day one. And that's a pretty big accomplishment in my eyes. But, and if I, besides Pikachu, if I were to say my favorite Pokemon in order, and that's without counting Pikachu again, Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur. I don't like grass types because they never do any good um, fighting anywhere or even fighting in the Elite Four. They're like, in my experience, they always die first. But Pikachu on top as always. Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur. So, shit, Yu-Gi-Oh. Um, man, I remember waking up at 9 o'clock or 9:30. I forgot what time, but I'd wake up at 9 o'clock, 9:30, watch Yu-Gi-Oh, then go back to sleep because I woke up too early. I'd have my cereal, I'd eat my apple, I'll have my milk, and I sound like a pretentious kid, but I really did have cereal or an apple and milk when I woke up that early because I needed something to stay awake while watching the show. But watching the first episode, they talked to him and and his grandpa who owned the game shop or the card shop. You know, he had someone steal, or Kaiba had a bunch of goons go into Grandpa's shop, steal the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and apparently to Kaiba it was a fake car. He ripped it up, and the magic of cartoons. Once the card was ripped up, you had Grandpa feel that the card was ripped up or whatever. But Yu-Gi-Oh was very big deal for me. Just like the Pokemon cards, I would collect the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had a lot of them. I had Yugi's starting deck. I had Kaiba's starting deck. I had Joey's starting deck. Um, let's see. I had a whole bunch of cards. I trade them when I go to school. I had all 5 parts of Exodia. And then when the Egyptian cards came out, I had all 3 Egyptian cards. Man, trading Pokemon cards and trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was in elementary school was the biggest thing on the face of the earth. And, kids now, they don't know what they're getting themselves into. They'll just buy the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, play it, and that's it. There's no sentimental value behind it. But when me and a bunch of my friends, man, we treated those cards like they were money. We put them in plastic. We made sure no one stole them. We made sure we didn't trade the wrong card. We made sure all our cards were not fake. There were a bunch of fake ones, and you could tell which ones were fake. Same thing with Pokemon cards, and a lot of the combinations were cool. You had Baby Dragon, Time Wizard, um, Thousand Years Dragon. You had Dark Magician, Karibo, Dark Magician Girl, Crush Dragon, um, Gaia the Fierce Knight. You had Summon Skull. You had Mammoth Graveyard. I could go on forever. I can go on for hours just spitting out the cards. You had Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. You had Red Eyes Black Dragon. There were a lot of cards, and just like with Pokemon, till this day, I have all my original cards. And I know a lot of the cards are worth a lot. Same thing with Pokemon, but I don't care how much I need the money. I'm not going to give up my cards because those cards have sentimental value, and I guarantee that if I were to go give my cards up, I'm going to have a sense of regret, go back into that card shop and tell them I want my card back because it's just too much. I can't get my games, my cards, and anything that I've had since I was a kid. I can't give up because it has just too much sentimental value. But after the original Yu-Gi-Oh finished, and I saw Yu-Gi-Oh GX and all this other nonsense, I stopped. I don't like any other of the Yu-Gi-Oh shows. I gave it a shot. I was like, you know what? All right, I'll watch the first 10 episodes. I'll give it a shot. Where they had one of the younger kids in Yu-Gi-Oh GX. That was the one after Yu-Gi-Oh. They had Yu-Gi-Oh GX. One of his cards was a fucking talking bike. Are you kidding me? Did you lose all sense of creativity? Did all your creativity go into the original Yu-Gi-Oh? You have a fucking talking bike. You have a train. You have a dog. I mean, where's the sense of creativity? And because of that talking bike, I said no. I'm not. I'm not. I'm done. Yu-Gi-Oh is now dead to me. I even went on Amazon last year and bought a whole bunch of the older cards because I didn't have all of them. So I have a few more of the old cards. I have a few new cards. I saw a few new ones that I liked. So I got a few new ones, but majority I have the old ones, which are favorite. But Dark Magician is my favorite card of all time. I'll say that, and it's Yugi's trump card, or Yami Yugi's trump card, whatever you want to call him. Dark Magician is my favorite. But next cartoon that I liked, and I don't think I'm gonna. The rest of the cartoons I may not talk in depth because I did watch them, but it's like, okay, there's something on. I like the show. It's whatever. Like the first cartoons I talked about, the Rugrats, Batman, Yu-Gi-Oh, and all those were shows that actually mean something to me because I like them so much. But a show that I liked that will come on Cartoon Network and WB11 as well would be Pinky and the Brain. I love Pinky and the Brain. You know, the Brain thought that he was all shit, all hot shit, because, of course, he's the Brain. He has a smart brain. But for some reason, whenever he would concoct a plan, it never went his way, and whatever Pinky said, it will always work out. And it showed that just because you're smart doesn't mean you know everything. And I say that every day. Just because you're smarter than me doesn't know you know everything. So, Pinky and the Brain is another one that will have a lot of good memories watching. It made me laugh. I can, even just talking about the show now, I have the voices in my head. I remember Pinky's squeaky voice. I remember the Brain's, deep voice. It wasn't deep, deep, but it was deep enough. It was deeper than Pinky's voice. But again, Pinky and the Brain, one of the few shows that I would love to watch again, that they should bring back on television and not screw up the cartoon like they screwed up Teen Titans and they screwed up Scooby Doo, and I'm not happy about that. And they screwed up Ben 10. I saw that on Facebook. Someone shared it. It's like, oh, Ben 10 is also getting a reboot. And as I saw it, it was dumb. The art style, everything. I'm done with the new Cartoon Network. They're screwing up everything. If they touch the older cartoons, I'm done with Cartoon Network completely. If they touch Dexter's Laboratory, if they touch Pinky and the Brain, if they touch the Justice Friends, if they touch any of the older cartoons in the 90's from Cartoon Network, I'm done with Cartoon Network completely. I'm already done with them because they screwed up Teen Titans, Scooby Doo, and Ben 10. I'm not happy what they did with those shows and how they redid the art. But again, back to my favorite shows, Pinky and the Brain. Here we have Ren and Stimpy, another show that would make me laugh my ass off every single time. I even remember Toasterman, and the way that he would make your bread toasty was that he would fart these sparkles, these crust sparkles onto your bread um in order to get the bread toasty. And I even remember at the breakfast table, Ren and Stimpy sitting there. They call him. He farts on the bread, and they have these crust sparkles or sparkle crust, whatever you want to call it, in their eyes, and they can't blink because they have the crust in their eyes. Ren and Stimpy I will give them a 10 out of 10 for originality. I fucking love this show. The show made me laugh even when I was upset. I come home from school upset because I got a bad grade. Someone got me upset or whatever happened. Ren and Stimpy was always that show that I can count on. I watch it all the time, and it came on later on the day, but I still stay up on a school night and watch the show because it was just that funny. You have Stimpy with his stupidity. Ren and Stimpy kind of remind me of Pinky and the Brain. You have Stimpy with his stupidity, and then you have Ren, trying to be the leader of everything, and it never worked. And sometimes the art style scared me, whatever. I'm a kid, of course. A lot of things will scare me, but again, Ren and Stimpy, another good show that I love. The next one we have Two Stupid Dogs, and that's how the intro to Two Stupid Dogs would end. It would be Two Stupid Dogs. Man, I loved it. It's Two Stupid Dogs was an amazing show. The little dog, the orange dog, I forgot their names, but the orange dog was it reminded me of my grandfather's dog, so of course I liked that dog a little more than the big gray one. And it always got me mad because that hair over the big gray one's eyes pissed me off. It's like, why can't I see his eyes? It's like, let me see it. What's under there? Does he have eyes? Does he not have eyes? Does he have one eye? Does he have a glass eye? Like, what type of eyes does he have? but every once in a while they'll show him that he has regular eyes, and I was really happy that they did that, because I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one when I was younger would say, "Show me his eyes. Why can't I see his eyes?" But there's not much that I can say with this show. All I have to say is that it was an awesome show. I loved it. Just like the rest of the other shows that came on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon and Nicktoons back in the 90's, early 2000s. It's just an amazing show. I loved it. I wish it was on more often. The Angry Beavers. Man, I miss watching the show. I really do. The Angry Beavers was another original cartoon in the 90's. And I enjoyed watching it. Their stupidity, the way they beat up each other, the way they yelled at each other, the way they argued, reminded me of me and my brother back in the day. And they really, I'm struggling to remember any episodes from it because it's been a while. And it's not one of my favorite cartoons, but it's a show that I loved when I was younger. It isn't a show like Cow and Chicken, Ren and Stimpy, Picking in the Brain, Dragon Ball Z, and all that. And I don't have Dragon Ball Z on this list, because I talk about Dragon Ball Z all the time. I mean, I make Dragon Ball Super reviews. I talk about Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. I talk about this and that. Maybe I'll make a separate video. Maybe listing my top 10, maybe top 15, even top 20 favorite characters in Dragon Ball Z. But this is primarily, you know, something that's not Dragon Ball related. I have a lot of Dragon Ball stuff on my channel. From questions to reviews to video games, whatever. But another show that I loved watching as a kid, The Angry Beavers. And we have Cat Dog. Man, I remember this one episode I remember, and it was the episode that Cat wanted to not be part of Dog, and it was the episode where he went to a shop where they said, okay, so stand. I guess you could say stand there. He was in front of a white thing where the photographer would take his picture and go to the computer and scroll through bottom halves and see what cat had liked. So he can be a normal cat because he didn't like dragging dog around everywhere. If cat needed to use the bathroom, dog have to be outside, or even if dog had to use the bathroom, cat would be outside. But at the end of that episode, he noticed that he did have the right bottom half, and he was attached to the dog the entire time. That was the bottom half that he was supposed to be attached to. I mean, yeah, it was weird. You had other animals in the show, and they were all normal. You had a normal cat, you had a normal dog, whatever. And then even their house was half bone, half fish, and of course you could tell who lived where. But as soon as you walked through that door, there was a baby picture of Cat Dog, and I thought that picture was really cute, and that was something that they couldn't change. The fact that they were related, that they're brother and brother, they're two crazy brothers. It kind of reminded me and my brother. You know, we may argue, we may fight, but at the end of the day, we still love each other. We're still brothers. We're still family. You can't change that. You know, Cat Dog it was an awesome show. There's a lot of nostalgia talking about these shows. But again, Cat Dog, another amazing show back in the 90's. And we have here Rocco's Modern Life. I love this show. And when I was younger, I didn't get it. But, since I'm older now, I got the joke that he worked at a phone company, but not any type of phone. He was a sex worker. And he would answer calls to whenever women would call and be horny and shit. And that went over my head when I was younger. I'll tell you that right now. But when I got older, I saw someone that was like, no, that can't be. But then when I looked back, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He worked on the phones, but he was what? He did what? And the fact that the frog, Mrs. Frog or Mr. Frog, but the wife of Mr. Frog, she was a freak. She wanted Rocco to come over just so they could do some freaky shit. But since it was a kid cartoon, they couldn't show it. But again, as I get older, I get all the jokes now. There's a video on Facebook of someone reacting to jokes that went over your head in the Powerpuff Girls show, and I was like, what? But of course, they do that for a reason, and they did the same thing with Scooby Doo, and with Scooby Doo, all of them were high. It's like you have this preppy boy who's hanging out with a nerd and a popular girl. They're hanging out with another teenage boy who they would never be caught in school in actual real life talking to, and Shaggy's talking to a fucking dog. Not until a few years ago I was found out all the reason why Shaggy can talk to Scooby was because the man was high all the time. You could tell from the way he walked, and even the way he's dressed. He's dragging his feet. He's always hungry. He's got the munchies. But I love Rocko's Modern Life. It was an amazing show, and it really is. And then Mama had a kitten. Mama had a chicken. Dada had a cow, and it was something else like something in the middle before they say they don't know how or whatever. But Cow and Chicken was another hilarious one. My favorite character from Cow and Chicken was the devil. The devil was fucking hilarious. And another thing that pissed me off with Cow and Chicken is with the mom and the dad, you never got to see the top half of their body or even their face. And it was the same thing in Tom and Jerry. There's a lot of cartoons I didn't say because I didn't want this to be super long. But it pissed me off when I was younger. I always got mad every single time I got. I was like, "Would you show their face? All you saw was their bottom half." I was like, you know what? I'm starting to think they're not gonna show their top half, and it got me upset. It was like, you know what? Why would you do that? If you're not gonna show their top half, you might as well just not show them at all. But there was an episode of Cow and Chicken where Chicken had to wear a football helmet, and I forgot what he had to do in the episode, but I just remember him wearing a football helmet, and I guess the rest of the episode was hilarious or something. But my favorite parts of the show was, of course, the devil. He had many disguises. He wanted Cow and Chicken to do weird things, because he hated them. Almost like it kind of reminds me of Stewie in a way. But of course, Family Guy wasn't a thing back then. It was Cow and Chicken and all the cartoons that I've talked about now. Also, I'm gonna say it with every cartoon. It's an awesome show. I love the show a lot. But I'm actually gonna leave. I have a few more pictures. I'm actually gonna make a part 2 to this because I think this is a little longer than what I wanted it to be. Um, but I'm actually gonna leave it on Cow and Chicken, and I'm gonna come back and finish the rest of them and talk about whatever cartoons that I have on here. But again, um, thank you for watching, and if you watch this and you watch the whole thing, I want you to comment in the comment section below what was your favorite cartoon in the 90s, if you're a 90s baby, of course, or even an 80s baby. What was your favorite cartoon in the 90s? And I say the 90s because some of the 80s babies were born in 88, 89, or even if you want to count, no, 87, they'll be around, I don't know. But if you were born around 88, 89, 90, um you know you know you could have, just sat down with your younger brother, younger sister, younger cousin, or whatever. They watch cartoons and you watch it with them. So whatever cartoon you watched in the 90s, the early 90s, the late 90s, I want you to comment in the comment section below and tell me what was your favorite cartoon. Again, you see, mine was, of course, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, um, Batman, the animated series, and a few other cartoons that I haven't spoke about yet. But I want to say thank you for watching. Again, comment in the comment section below what was your favorite cartoon. And if you like the video, please leave a like and share amongst your friends. If you got some nostalgia from me talking about the shows, I didn't talk about them in depth, but I didn't want to talk about them too long. But again, thank you for watching and good night.